What's going on, guys? My name is Nick. Welcome back to Comic Culture. We are going to be reviewing the books that we got on April 21st, 2020. Got lots of books to look through, so let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back. So we're going to go over the books we got this week. We're going to start with Marvel, and we have from Philip Kennedy Johnson, we have Alien number 2. So Alien number 2 is really good. I liked it much more than Alien number 1, mainly because there's actually aliens in an Alien book. Imagine that. So it's a continuation of the general that we got that's retired. He's found out about his son, who's part of this group to kind of sabotage the ship that he just came from. So basically, he's going to have to be charged with going back into the ship to kind of salvage anything he can from this team that's trying to sabotage the ship. And we actually get some alien action in this one. So again, imagine that in an Alien book. We actually get to see some aliens. So if you're a little bit disappointed from the first issue, you're actually going to get a little bit more action in this issue. And there's also some really big cliffhangers towards the end. So if you're looking forward to more alien action in an Alien book, you're going to get it in issue 2. So I was really happy about that. So that was actually the only Marvel book we got. So what else do we have? We have a few DC. Let's start with Nightwing 79. So Nightwing 79 is by Tom Taylor. Continuation story. This is the Infinite Frontier story. And he's trying to figure out what he's going to be doing with all this money that Alfred left him. There's a lot of good Oracle moments in here, and there's a little bit of a flashback of the different characters he's been over time. So it's pretty cool. And he's trying to just figure out what he's going to do with this new wealth that he has. He's not quite sure what to do with it. He's been poor his whole life. He's just been kind of, running around with Batman. And so now he's got all this money he's trying to spend. We have a little cameo of a new villain. He seems pretty interesting. So I don't know if this is going to be a spec book or not, but if you haven't picked up Nightwing, I would highly recommend it. It's not a bad read, and it's got a lot of heart, so I really like it. On to Catwoman, number 30. Look at that cover. That's a Ron V book. Jenny Frison, amazing cover. I haven't read Catwoman. I kind of pick it up every once in a while. It's not a bad book. This one's got a Poison Ivy twist to it. So if you're into Poison Ivy, I would highly recommend this one. She's kind of interrogating the Riddler in this one. Learns Poison Ivy's kind of gotten herself into a pickle, and she's trying to save her. So it reminds me of Mr. Freeze and his wife in a certain spot here. And she's trying to infiltrate this high society kind of showcase. This guy's collecting certain things, and he's got to save Poison Ivy from this particular guy. So really interesting book. Ron V, pick it up. So let's move over to some Image books. So which one do we want to do first? All right, we'll start with Firepower. This is Robert Kirkman. This is issue 10. I did drop Firepower, and I got yelled at by a lot of people in the community. So I did pick it back up. So Firepower is a great read. I kind of forgot what was going on, but I kind of picked it up again. And it's him and his family back on the island, about to take on the enemy. And they're, just kind of learning about, they're kind of outnumbered. They are outmanned. They don't have as much talent as the enemy, and they have to go attack them anyway. So they're going to use the element of surprise, or they think, and it ends in a kind of a tragic way. But I think it's a trick. I think that they're trying to fool their enemy, and because they kind of just do a frontal assault, and it doesn't turn out too well. But I think they have another plan. So Firepower is good. Robert Kirkman's great. It's a classic story, and I think it's going to go a long way. So check out Firepower too. Okay. We have HaHa, number 4. I didn't get this one. I didn't understand this book at all. I think Robbie tried to explain it to me, and it's kind of about finding meaning where meaning is not there. Yeah, the meaning just wasn't there for me. I couldn't figure it out. It's the typical, there's clowns in here. It's extremely abstract. We have many, many different layers of story going on, and I just couldn't piece it all together. I think I just need to read it again, perhaps. But this was the only issue of HaHa that really kind of disappointed me because I didn't quite understand it, which I don't know what that says about me. So read HaHa and let me know in the comments if you actually know what the heck's going on in that book, because I didn't understand it at all. Okay. We have Home number 1. So Home number 1 was actually really, really good. I had a suspicion that it would end in a way that we didn't see coming. And that's exactly what happened in this one. So it's about a mom and a son trying to get to America. And when they finally get there, unfortunately, they get separated. He gets taken away. He's kind of abused. And something happens at the very, very end that's rather shocking. And I won't spoil it for you, but it's kind of what I thought this book would end up turning into. So I would highly recommend Home number 1. And there's a little bit of a twist at the end. So if you're thinking you kind of know where the story is going, you really don't. And there's a cool little twist at the end. So check that out. Okay, a few more books left. Next one is Resident number 9. This is a vault book. David Andry. I actually got a copy of this digitally from David on Twitter a couple weeks prior. So I actually read it and then I reread it again just so I can stay fresh in my mind. Resident's a good story. It essentially is about, it's kind of a post-apocalyptic world. There is this kind of wave that hits people and it turns them extremely violent. And they can kind of sense it coming. And the only way that you can, prevent yourself from ripping yourself apart or anyone else around you apart is to have extreme concentration through meditation, or if you physically restrain yourself down. And different groups have kind of come up with different ways of dealing with that wave as it comes. But it's a story about a man and his 2 kids. He, gets separated from them, goes off and becomes a little bit shipwrecked, and then finds a community, and that community is extremely weird. They just kind of found ways of getting around the wave, and also all they do is pretty much eat and drink and busy themselves with the continuation of the species. So it's pretty interesting. It's kind of a weird place, but he finds a really dark secret about this community, and it's so dark that he has to find a way to escape. And of course, they kind of find him as he finds out what's going on. So he's kind of in a bad situation. Meanwhile, his kids are waiting for him to return, and they're dealing with some really bad people as well. This kind of a cult that's taken over their house. So they're battling their own battles at home, waiting for dad to show back up while he's busy with a bunch of women in this place. So Resident is extremely good. David Andry, I really recommend picking this one up too. If you're looking for something that's a little post-apocalyptic and it has a lot of family-oriented things inside of it, and if you're a fan of dogs, there's a really cool dog in this issue too, so you can look forward to that. All right, we have 2 more. We're going to save the best for last. So we got Radiant Black. This is an Image book. Kyle Higgins. So this is issue number 3, actually. This was my least favorite issue so far. Not a lot of action. It's very heavy on the writing side. He has a couple dreams and whatnot that are really, really cool, but it's really not heavy into action. There's no real battles. It's really him trying to focus, trying to start this book or this story or whatever it is. I'm sure there's a lot of, metaphors to be drawn in there, but there is actually like full pages of writing that you can work through. But the whole time I just found myself trying to like relate it back to the character, what he might be going through. And it was a little bit distracting. But it has a lot to say about the writing process, I'm sure. I'm not a writer. I wouldn't know, but staring at that little blinking cursor is something I think we can all relate to in a way. But yeah, Radiant Black number 3, not bad. It just didn't have as much action as I was hoping. And this book needs action because I think a lot of people were disappointed in issue 1. Issue 2 gave us more what we wanted, and I think issue 3 was another step back from an action perspective. We did learn a little bit about the character, and he's feeling more confident in his writing, but I think we just need some more action at this point because it's a little bit dull of a story. But again, it's 3 issues in. We'll keep going. Hopefully, it'll get better. So then, this is my pick of the week so far of everything I've read. This is Boom issue number 1, The Many Deaths of Layla Starr, and I got that amazing foil cover, the B cover, thanks to the Deep Comics and Games. So thank you, Robbie, for getting me a copy of this one. Really, really, really appreciate it. This is Rom V, and yeah, it's a great story. So basically, this one is Goddess of Death is let go. There's a prophesized child that is being born, and it's an interesting story because you kind of have these couple different stories in sync at the same time. You have 3 main stories, if I remember correctly, and it's about reincarnation, it's about the birth of a new child, and then it's about the Goddess of Death actually taking over mortal form on Earth. And she's extremely interested in meeting this child and trying to kill this child before they can come up with a way of eternal life. So the baby being born just doesn't grant everyone eternal life. It finds out how to give everyone eternal life. So her objective is to meet this baby and end this baby before it can do that, so she can kind of take her place as Death again. So it's very, very interesting. She goes back down to Earth. She's trying to understand, the human body. Some more things happen to her she doesn't expect, and she's kind of reincarnated again, and it's just very, very interesting. So we're going to see what she's going to do to this baby, because she couldn't necessarily do the job when she saw the baby the first time. And there's also a saga kind of connection in a way when I was reading this book. If you remember, I think her name was Isabel. I can't remember that ghost girl that floats around. That's just a half of a body. There's kind of one of those types of characters in this book. Didn't see that one coming. But art is really, really good. Ron V's killing it in the writing. And this cover is just insane. I absolutely love this cover. So this was my pick of the week. It felt longer than I expected too. Lots of dialogue, but it flowed really well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this series is going to go. So those are my books I picked up this week. What did you guys get? Did I leave anything out? And did I not? If you understood HaHa, leave me something in the comments, because I didn't quite understand it. And again, in Radiant Black's the same thing. If you found some meaning or some connection between his writing and his character development, something like that, let me know in the comments below. And then when you're down there, hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It lets you know when I put out new videos. Look forward to poll videos on Wednesdays, review videos on Fridays, and then I have a random video usually on Sunday. So thanks for checking out the channel and the video, and we'll talk to you soon.